All right, let's talk about one of the biggest comeback stories we've seen in AI, maybe ever. This is the story of a total underdog that went from the very back of the pack to the front of the race in just a single update. You've got to hear this. We're diving into the incredible story of Google's Gemma 4.
I mean, seriously, just a little while ago, if you'd said Gemma is going to lead the pack, people probably would have laughed. So first up, we're going to look at just how much of an underdog it really was. And then, boom, the massive leap it just took.
So, this quote from an AIR's article really just nails it, right? It looks back at March 2026 and says Gemma 3 finished dead last, not just losing, but getting crushed in every single category against its rivals. You had to wonder, was Google even in the open source game anymore? Well, that whole story, as the article says, it is now completely outdated. And look at this. This chart just says it all. This isn't just a small bump. We're talking about a tough math test for AI, and Gemma 3, it scored a pretty pathetic 20.8%. Then comes Gemma 4, and it scores an 89.2%. That's not an improvement. That's like going from elementary school math to a PhD in one jump. It's a totally different universe. This one chart is the whole comeback story right there. So how in the world did they pull this off? Well, it wasn't just one thing. They rolled out a whole new family of models. 4 of them, actually. And each one is built for a different job, from something small enough for your phone all the way up to a beast for a workstation. So let's meet the new Gemma family. Okay, so here's the lineup. You've got the E2B and E4B models. These are the little guys designed to be super efficient, to run on laptops, maybe even your phone. Then you get to the big guns, the 31B dense model. That's for pure raw power. But the really interesting one is this 26B model. It's what's called a mixture of experts, or MOE model. And you're probably asking, what on earth is that? Okay, so here's the deal. A normal AI model, what we call a dense model, it's kind of like it uses its entire brain for every single task. Super inefficient, right? But an MOE model, it's way smarter. It's like having a team of specialists. If you have a math problem, you just call on your math expert. If it's a writing task, you bring in the language expert. It only uses the parts it needs for the job, which is an incredibly clever way to get huge performance without using tons of power. All right, so we've met the new models, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. What's the secret sauce? There are really 3 massive game changers here that turned Gemma from a nobody into a serious contender. Okay, game changer number 1. This first one is the huge leap in just raw power. Yeah, we saw that crazy chart, but how did it do it? The secret is a new feature they're calling thinking mode. Before Gemma 4 gives you an answer, it actually takes time to think. It generates a ton of internal monologue, kind of like working out the problem on a scratch pad. It reasons step by step, catches its own mistakes, and tries different approaches. It literally learned to think before speaking. All right, number 2. This next one is maybe even more impressive. It's not just about being powerful, it's about being efficient. It's about smart power, not just brute force. And that's where that whole mixture of experts idea we talked about really shines. And this slide, this is where the magic happens. Look at this. On the left, you've got the big, dense model, using all 30+ billion parameters, maximum power. Now look at the right, that's our MOE model. It's only using 3.8 billion active parameters. But look at the quality. It's at 97% of the big model's performance. You get almost the exact same quality for about 1/8 of the work. This is a complete game changer if you want to run this stuff on your own machine. And that brings us to the third and final game changer. This one isn't about tech specs or cool features. It's about something bigger, strategy. And honestly, for anyone looking to actually use these models to build things, this might be the most important change of all. So here's the thing. The older Gemma models had this custom license that was, let's just say, it was a bit restrictive. It made businesses and developers nervous. With Gemma 4, Google threw all that out. They switched to the Apache 2.0 license, which is the gold standard for open source. All that uncertainty, gone. So what does that really mean for you? It means you can actually use it. No weird restrictions, no caps on how many people can use your app. You want to build a commercial product with it? Go for it. And the best part? Since you can run it on your own machine, you have complete control over your data. Your privacy is in your hands. This is a huge green light. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why.
Which brings us to the question that's probably on your mind right now. That's cool and all, but can I actually run this thing? And the answer is a resounding yes. And it's way, way easier than you probably think.
This chart lays it out perfectly based on your budget. You want to get in the game? For about $800, you can get a machine that'll run that small, efficient model, no problem. You want to step it up to that awesome MOE model? You're looking at a PC in the $2,000 range. And if you want to go all out, top of the line, that'll be a machine that's $4,000 or more. The point is, state-of-the-art AI is now officially within reach. So you might be scratching your head thinking, wait, how does a model with 26 billion parameters fit on a PC I can actually afford? The magic trick here is something called quantization. The best way to think about it is like zipping a giant file. You might lose a tiny bit of quality that you'd never even notice, but the file gets way, way smaller. Quantization does exactly that for these AI models. And the best part of all? You don't have to be some kind of computer genius to do any of this. Seriously, there are free tools out there like Allama that do all the heavy lifting for you. It takes all that complicated stuff and basically turns it into a one-click affair. No, I'm not kidding. Look at this. This is literally it. 3 steps. You install Allama, you open up your terminal and type one command to download the model, then you type one more command to run it. That's it. You're done. In less time than it takes to make coffee, you can have a world-class AI running completely offline on your own computer. It's insane. So let's zoom out for a second and think about what this really means. This isn't just another model update. This is a complete shakeup of the entire open source AI race. And this chart here is the perfect summary of the new reality. It's your cheat sheet. If you need the best raw quality for thinking, math, coding, the answer is now Gemma 4. If you need the most efficient, best bang for your buck model, again, it's Gemma 4's MOE model. Now, other models still have their place. Llama 4 is still the champ for giant context window, and Qwen is fantastic with multiple languages. But for those core tasks, Gemma just jumps to the top of the leaderboard. And yeah, this quote just wraps it all up perfectly. The open model race just got a new leader. In one move, Google went from being at the back of the pack to leading the race. The whole game has changed. And that leaves us with one last big idea to chew on. For so long, the assumption has been that the most powerful AI will always live in the cloud. Gemma 4 throws a real wrench in that idea. This is about moving that power from the cloud to your desk. So the real question is, what happens when AI this good is no longer a service you rent, but a tool you own? What happens when the AI universe doesn't have a center anymore? We're just starting to find out.